So it sure looks like this season's going to go down, Peter, right? I mean, it looks like, coaches are back in facilities now, with the exception of, I believe, only the 49ers. That the health protocols were put out. They're very stringent, but it's nothing that can't be that cannot be done. And testing will be there. I'm hearing about, N95 material put over face masks to help mask players and practice social distancing despite being literally next to each other or on top of each other. Like, this looks like it's a go, Peter, to me.
Well, it is, but again, you knew, basically, Rich, you knew that the NFL was going to come up with an exhaustive, extremely thorough plan. You knew that. They're too smart not to. But that doesn't mean that when John Doe leaves X facility and goes out and has 2 beers on a Thursday night, at a bar, that he's not smashed in with 64 people in a small area. He's going to be told by the infection control officer in every team, all these guys are going to be told, don't do this. And I think the vast majority, and who knows, maybe 100% will not do it. But I think it's unrealistic to, when the rest of the human race is allowed to go out and socialize by the fall, I'm sure that most places in the United States will be wide open. So that's the whole thing. I have an item in my column this week, talking to Alan Sills, and he said, you cannot build a complete, impenetrable bubble around teams. And so, the NFL is going to do everything within its power, but that doesn't mean that some Saturday morning when 70 players on the active and practice squads and injured reserve, when all those people are tested, it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be 2 or 3 who come up positive. And we hope, of course, that nobody comes up positive. And it could well be that nobody will come up positive. But, I think the NFL also has to be prepared for a worst-case scenario. What happens if 3 or 4 guys on the same team test positive? What are you going to do? And what is the team that's supposed to play him that week going to do? Are you supposed to say, well, these 4 guys are going to be quarantined for 2 weeks, but they haven't really run into anybody in the last few days, so the rest of the team is okay? That's unrealistic. So that sort of nuclear option is going to be very weird if it comes into play this season. And I have no idea as of right now if the NFL knows what it's going to do about that. It surely isn't saying.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.